Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video. This is PSGL round number whatever around Mexico. My favorite track on F1 games. Maybe not even my favorite track, but it's just my best track, so that makes it my favorite track. And as you can see, we're out in Q1 at the moment for our first run. And as you can see there, we're leading the championship by 21 points to Thomas Ronhaar. And we got slightly more races left than there's currently on the calendar. The calendar has been extended after this Mexico race, so I think there's going to be 12 or 13 rounds in total. So yeah, that's going to be not ideal for a championship, or maybe it is ideal, I don't know. Whatever way you look at it. Next week up is Brazil, but today Mexico, and we're going to try and make it into Q2 as per usual in every qualifying session on a single lap, because that way we have more new sets of tires for Q2 and Q3. However, there is rain expected later on in this qualifying session, so yeah, that might not be as important. It would still be nice to just make it into Q2 in a single set though, so you have got the options available in case you do need 2 runs in Q2 and 2 runs in Q3. There's always a session restart, so you don't really need the softs anyway for the race, because you will get all new tires for the race again, simply due to the grid penalties you get in qualifying so easily. All the outlaps are very slow, a lot of brake dragging going on to heat up the tires easier, and that's why the game is just awarding penalties, because it's not used to people driving around that slow on their outlap. So yeah, so far pretty clean lap. Green first, of course, as this was our first lap. There's going to be a green second as well. 56.187 into the last sector. The last sector should be around a 0.9. Once we get to Q3, it's going to be like a 0.7. But yeah, of course, it is a very slow section, and yeah, that's where mechanical grip comes in, which is something we lack in Q1, because the track is not up to good grip levels yet. So as you can see there, a single lap done, and we went through in P6, just over 10th behind Otis Lawrence in P1. So not sure if he went for 2 laps actually, but it's not really relevant anyway, because there is rain expected, as I said, so not that crucial. As you can see, actually, our championship rival Thomas Ronhaar out in Q1. The grid is really close. You can see P4 to like P17 is within 1.6 tenths, so really close. And you can see actually at the end of Q1 now, as everyone has finished, it has started raining. So yeah, crucially for us, Thomas Ronhaar out, our championship rival out in Q1. That's good news for us. Dylan Warren, Jack West, Luke Smith and Ben Sabo Konyi out in Q1 as well. So on to Q2 we go then. And yeah, as you can see, already out on the intermediates at the very start of Q2. And you can see still 13 minutes left on the clock. And that means we have gone out straight away the second the pit exit lights went green. And there's a lot of traffic ahead of us. We're one of the last outs on track, and that's a disadvantage because the rain is only going to get worse. So this lap is the most important one. It doesn't matter if we've got great pace in these conditions, or we had great pace in the last session. This is just going to be a 1 lap shootout. The track is only going to get slower, and if we invalidate our lap, we are most likely going to be out in Q2. So the pressure is on for this lap. We have to get it together here, otherwise we're going to be out in Q2. So into turn 1 we go. We've got no idea where we're going to be braking, of course, because we haven't been driving in these conditions. We don't know how much grip there is out on track. We have not pushed in the outlap at all. We've just been focused on warming up our tires, and you can see it's actually been quite tidy through there. Took a bit of exit curb there, which you can do. You can try and avoid it in the wet as well, but lap time wise it's quite similar. Purple first sector as we go through this very tight sector 2 section. Very important to get a lot of rotation around these very tight corners. But yeah, then of course you lack traction on a corner like this if you create too much rotation with your setup. So it's always a balancing act around every single track as we go through this fast section. Trying to keep it clean, easy to invalidate through there. Philip Praginator to provisional P1. Thomas Gall to provisional P1. He's been phenomenal in every qualifying session I've seen so far on this game, especially the last season of PSGL and WR. But yeah, we have had a very tidy lap as well. And across the line we're gonna go. It's a 1:23.687.
Not too
and
bad.
we go
Second last car on the track.
P1 by 0.2 of a second. So that was indeed a very tidy lap. As you can see, 1.89 tenths to Thomas Gall, 2.8 tenths to Alvaro Carreton, and 4.6 tenths to Philip Preitschneider. And as you can see there, Thomas Manley, Ulis Ozilderim, Ruben Pedreno, Will Lewis, and Istvan Pukki out in Q2. I bottle names so often, actually, pronouncing names. Wilson Huge is one of them. He's not arriving today though. But yeah, very good Q2. Gives me hope for Q3. A lot more wet in Q3. 103.0 split into the last sector. I think Q2 was a 102.2. So that's an 8-10 difference. And this lap's probably going to be over a second slower than Q2, as I think Ismail Fassi went to provisional P1 with a 25.5. However, we go 6 tenths.
6 tenths.
Normal.
And yeah, as you could hear there, the gap was 6 tenths to Ismail Fassi, 4 tenths to Alvaro Carreton after all runs have been done. So we're absolutely on it at the moment in these wet conditions, but you might be able to see it as we go into our last Q3 run. It's a lot more dry again, so it's once again gonna be a one-lap shootout for pole position, and this is basically the only lap that's gonna count. So our previous work has been undone. Our great banker lap that was P1 by 4 tenths is basically useless now. This is the one that counts, and this is the one that's going to decide pole position. Into turn 1 we go. Little bit of hesitation on turn in. Other than that, a good minimum speed carried and a good exit, which is important here. You can see we've gone almost 2 tenths up through the first sector, and that means the track is a lot more dry. Purple first sector at 30.8. That's slower than Q2 actually, but of course the track conditions might be different as well. So 4 tenths up we go. Trying to get some good rotations right, and again we're just gaining 2 tenths per corner pretty much. And if you can remember well, Q2 was at 23.6 and our current best lap time is at 24.9. So if we want to beat that, we need to gain 1.3 seconds on that delta on the top right. Thomas Gall at 24.4. We are already faster than that. We're on for 24.1. So this lap is already going to be enough for pole position at the moment, but there's still a lot of people to cross the line. Alfie Butcher goes provisional pole, 24.392, and we're actually getting a little bit of dirty air from here, probably from Philip Preitschneider, but that is fine. Across the line we go, and it is pole position.
Actually caught dirty air from Philip.
By half a tenth of a second to Frederik Rasmussen, and it's always Freddy. Making it difficult for us when we get a good chance for pole position. And you can see there 400s to P2, 2.6 tenths to P3, 3.5 tenths to P4, and the gaps are actually quite big, but yeah, that is quite normal for a wet session. So for a moment I thought we had lost it with that dirty air from Philip, but we got pole position, and yeah, as you can see now we move on to the race. And you might be wondering, why are we already in P18? Why have you not showed the start? And yeah, you can see we're leading on the hards at the moment. And yeah, we got Ismail Fassi ahead of us, but some people are already boxed. We were leading the hards when others started to box.
No way. What is this? Are others seeing this as well? I can't.
Yeah, it's happened for everyone.
Fuck. Thank fuck. What even happened?
I have no idea.
And yeah, the Steam servers went down. So that was so frustrating because we were doing so well this race. We were in a net P1 on the hards. It almost felt like I just had to.
In this view.
It almost felt like I just had to finish the race and do some simple overtakes. As I actually had to change my view real quick just before the start there. A little bit of chaos, but here we go again. A second chance, and again starting on the hards. From pole position. Otis Lawrence in P2 on the hards as well. He did the same in the first race, as we have to go defensive. It's such a long run into turn 1, so we have to go really defensive here. Leave Otis the space. He uses up the space on the outside, and yeah, we're just on the same strategy, so we just need to cover off the rest of the grid basically. So we're just forming a little wall there from the rest of the grid. And yeah, used a lot of my battery there, but just had to keep those softer tire runners behind. As I think Otis had an issue with his wheel, and that's why I dropped back so much there.
What happened there, bro?
And yeah, that's why we made a little contact. So I think he didn't have force feedback, perhaps. And yeah, had to tap out. His AI had to take over for a little bit. So yeah, that's why he lost out, if I remember correctly. So yeah, we're the first hard runner at the moment, ahead of 3 medium runners. So you can see Alfie Butcher P5 on the softs. He's gonna be doing a really short first stint. 2-stop used to be very feasible around Mexico. For some reason it's not on F1 23, I'm not sure why, but F1 2020, 2021, 2019, all
Pretty similar
two-stoppers.
story again on tyres. Tamas and Alfie on softs, only ones.
All 2-stoppers, but since 22 I think it's been a 1-stopper. So as we're letting Alvaro go in turn 1, we've got Jake behind us as well. He was very lucky with the restart, because he got front wing damage, or had an incident. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he had retired from the first race, and then he had to actually jump back on his rig later because he realized we were restarting. So lucky bastard he is. But yeah, purple first sector. I'm not sure why, because we definitely were not purple there, as Alfie gets past Ismail behind us. Again, I kind of want to stay ahead, but it's difficult. We would have to use up a lot of our battery to stay ahead, and we just don't have the grip at the moment on those hards. Our time will come later on in this race, as Alfie moves past us on the softs, which is lifting a little bit so we don't have to go side by side into the next right-hander. And we drop down another position. This start has been a lot worse. So we got a little tap from behind. Tamas moving through on the softs. But yeah, this is frustrating. We were basically leading. We kept the lead in the first race non-stop, and now we've already dropped to P4, make that P5 after 2 laps. So that is frustrating, but yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. Not much we can do about it. Just have to keep our head down. We are still on the hards in the ultimate strategy,
65.
so no reason to get stressed until now. Because now there's a safety car, we're on the hards. We're gonna be stuck on the hards basically.
We can't go to hards at the end. Or no one else can, I mean.
And yeah, she can even say no one else can probably make it to the end of the hards as well. But yeah, what decision do we go for here? Because
They're discussing it.
we've got Jake ahead of us on the mediums. He's gonna be boxing probably. And we would have to double stack. And yeah, as you can even say, we've only done 3.5 laps on this set of tires.
It's too early for him to do it.
So yeah, I felt like it was the right decision to stay out, but as we drive past, I didn't want to lose another 4 or 5 positions double stacking, so I decided to stay out. But as we drive past, basically the entire grid boxed. Which
box. Why is everyone boxing though? I don't get this.
I shouldn't even say. I was just confused. I expected it to be like half-half, but I think 19 people boxed. No, sorry, not 19. 18 people boxed. Just me and Brendan stayed out, I think so. So yeah, we are screwed here. Properly screwed. As we are on old hards. Alvaro, for example, is on new softs. Jake on new hards. Alfie Butcher on medium. So a lot of new tire runners behind us, and we're gonna have to properly bolt it here on the outlap. You can see I used a lot of my battery there. Already 30% used. And nonetheless, the slipstream effect is so big into turn 1, and that Alvaro is going to get past us here. On the softs, he just has way more grip. You can see from the start as well, when you're on new softs, you've got a lot more grip. And now he's on new softs relative to 3.5 lap used hards. Now, in real life, that's not as big of an issue, of course, but it is a 50% race, so the tire wear is also twice as big as well. in a 50% race, so that basically means we're on like 7 lap all tires. So lap 9 now, and we've got Brendan and Jake moving through. It's not been too bad, to be honest, the safety car restart. We've only had 2 people get past us, and that's because Jake is on the hards, and of course he's on new hards, so it is kind of feasible if you're on new hards, and I think that helped us a lot that he was on new hards, because then we didn't have all those soft and medium runners just instantly swallowing us up. Plus the fact Brendan was behind us, and that's just an extra cushion, you know. So that was nice. Lap 10 out. We used up a lot of our battery to stay ahead of Alfie on the mediums and Ismail on the softs. They are doing, I think, soft medium. I think Alfie could actually be doing medium for him, but Ismail, for example, started on the mediums, so he had to go either to softs or hards.
Alfie
to
52 exit.
make sure he used both compounds already, and then he'll be using the mediums for his last stint, because yeah, he obviously won't be making it to the end. And now into turn 1, we're gonna get past Brendan here, swapping back around, and of course leaving him the space on the apex of turn 2. As Alfie actually got past him instantly. So does Ismail. I'm not sure what happened there. He lost 2 positions really fast. But yeah, Alvaro obviously pulled off into the distance, and it looks like he's got this race pretty sorted. He's 3 seconds up in the lead, over 3 seconds. And yeah, new softs. He's going to be going to the new mediums, and mediums are great around here, probably the best race tire. So yeah, lap 13 now. We're still getting DRS from Jake, and that's important for both of us actually, because I'm kind of being a little bit of a wall for Jake here, because every time we go into the straight we're like 8 tenths behind Jake or 9 tenths behind Jake, and because we still get DRS, because we're in a 1 second window, no one gets past us. So that's beautiful for both of us. We're not getting
Next
swallowed
lap,
up
I think.
by the pack. As you can hear my engineer say next lap, and that was on the question on when Jake was gonna fall off the cliff.
No way.
There's a cliff of
Tire
tire
try and
wear.
help me, man. This
After
is
like
not being discussed.
30% tire wear, and Jake just
They keep Brendan out on purpose so Thomas can box, and we are just not doing anything.
and yeah, I was getting pretty pissed. Jake didn't have an engineer, and he was not made or aware of any situations around
Thanks,
him
guys.
strategy-wise.
Thanks for the
So
teamwork.
he had no idea what was going on. He had no engineer, so yeah, it was a bit of a confusing situation, because he had an engineer for qualifying, but then not for the
so much.
race, or he had for the first race, but not for the second. So
Same in PSGL Finale Abu Dhabi. It's just no teamwork. Well, why? I understand.
Sorry.
I understand if it's like no point in the championship, but you guys completely fucked me here. Well,
Sorry, man.
Alpha's, yeah, but well, Alpha's working together. We're not working together, but you get the point.
Yeah, I do agree. I don't have comms on Jake's side at the minute. Do you want me to drag him in?
There's no point anymore. My race is over anyway. Yeah, I'll Dylan. Oh, but it's not even. It's not Jake's job. Right? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I know. I have no comms on that side of the garage at all.
So yeah, we've basically gone in one lap from P3 to
There's no point. racing.
P9, which is not ideal, of course. And it's not just the fact we went from P3 to P9, we're actually on the slower tires as well. On the slower compound, on more worn tires. And this race is just pretty much over at this point. I have to defend here from Ruben behind, so I had to go on the attack, which is, yeah, just not smart. It was just frustration, to be honest. There was no
I
point.
never rage quit, but I'm so close now, honestly.
Yeah, as you can hear me say
I'm
there.
so pissed with what you guys did.
And now down to P10. So yeah, we just wasted a lot more ERS again trying to go on the attack on Dylan, which made no sense because
Alpha and the whole RAG team is so clear when it comes down to teamwork, and we never ever do anything.
I think that was our final bit of the rant, to be honest. After this, we got our head down again. We did lose another few positions, I think so. Because obviously everyone behind is still on the fresher tires. And their tires are probably
Should
still
have just boxed as well and just taken 10 place drop or something.
a half a second per lap slower tires. So we've got, is that Tom Manley on our inside? It's Tom Manley in the Red Bull. Probably going down the inside here. Unfortunately, he missed his braking point here slightly. And
Almost does it again.
tapped Dylan around. Poor Dylan. His race is over. You can see he completely spun around in turn 1. And now we got Istvan, the other Ferrari, on our outside, which turns to the inside for him. We leave the space. And somehow we actually managed to stay ahead. Just through the momentum of being on the outside. So great bit of racing there. I'm just desperately trying to stay in the DRS, sorry. Of just cars on faster tires. We're just still dropping 1 position every lap. Relatively seen though, our hearts are getting faster, but yeah, we are only in P12, and that's P12. Maybe that's probably not P13 or 14 by now, because I decided to just stay out behind Istvan and stay in his DRS, recharge our battery, and just hope for another safety car or something. Lap 21 though, I had to box because my tires were getting really old, so we had to box at some point, and I decided, you know what, we're just gonna box at the same time as Ruben ahead of us. Ruben onto the mediums again, and yeah, we're straight away gonna have DRS again out of the box. You can see how far we're behind the leader. Jake is actually the leader at the moment, and he is heading into sector 2 now. Now he boxed for Harns in the safety car, and his plan was to stay out. I think the next car that is still legitimately out, not out, it is actually out to finish the race after Jake, is Alvaro going into turn 1 now. So we are like 15 seconds behind the leader. Yeah, you can see turn 1 is around 15 seconds away. So this is painful. I decided to continue anyway. You never know. You know, 1 point is better than 0. Me and Ruben just played as well together. We're swapping around every single lap, just taking turns on the DRS, trying to get back to the lead pack. It's a double DRS detection zone, so Ruben gets DRS on X-Ray again anyway. And yeah, lap 27 now. 9 laps to go after we finish this lap. And we have caught up to one of the groups. This is not the lead group, but this is one. I think the second group after the lead group, if you don't count in Jake, who is still actually really far in front. I think he's still leading by like 6 seconds. So if he makes it to the end, he's got a good chance of winning this. And into turn 1, we get past Otis, who I think had an incident the lap before, and that's why he dropped out of DRS. So that helped us a lot, because
Jake
now we get
not
DRS
making it,
on this rate and next rate. Just can hear me say Jake is not making this, is he?
They are gaining, but not by that much. Probably less than a second on that.
And puncturized ones.
And yeah, I didn't expect Jake to make it, because that's like a 30 lap stint on the hards is insane. But yeah, he didn't have an engineer, so
Got a 3 lap tyre advantage to Tom in P6. Jake's still comless. Do you want me to drag him in?
What do you mean comless? John and Alex are in there.
No one else here, just me.
And yeah,
Right.
as you could hear
Yeah, I mean, might as well drag him in.
me say that Jake had no engineer, and so he didn't know anything about tires, and that's probably why I tried to make it to the end on hards, because yeah, I already said from the start that it was probably not possible, but of course I don't have the numbers right in front of me when I'm driving, and I'm focused on my own race. So Jake trying to make it to the end, but he has already been caught by the lead group that are like 4 seconds ahead of us at the moment. And yeah, he's holding them up massively because he's on such old tires. And he's helping us here as well. You can see how much time they're losing. And this is the perfect scenario for us. We are on slightly fresher tires, and of course, we had to use them up a lot to catch them. And as you can hear Jake say, I did my best to hold them back for half a lap. But there's only so much you can do on the hards, but that was perfect. We were just within a second of Tom in the DRS detection. He was just outside of a second of the lead group that we've got right ahead of us now. And yeah, because of Jake, we have gone from expecting a point in this race to fighting for the win. Now, to be honest, I also did have great pace, because you can see, for example, in comparison to Ruben Pedreno, we were together with, he is quite a few positions behind us and not fighting for the win. So yeah, we have driven a perfect race apart from strategy-wise, and we are now suddenly fighting.
60 exit, 4 laps older.
We're suddenly fighting for the win. After nearly rage quitting, because I was completely done with the race. It's of course such a mental setback if you're basically winning a race and then it gets restarted and you get shafted by a safety car, and nothing goes your way. And yeah, I was close to driving myself into the wall, to be honest. And now we're going on the attack on Ismail into turn number 4. We go around the outside into sector 2, which turns to the inside for the next one. We leave space for Ismail, but we get the job done up to P4. And at the end of this lap, there's going to be 3 racing laps remaining. And that means we need to gain 1 position per lap to get into race winning contention. However, we've just made 2 in 1 corner, and up to P2 we go with 3 laps of racing to go. We're suddenly back in the chance for winning this race. This has been a crazy race. Our championship rival Thomas Ronner as well started P17, is in the lead of the race suddenly. This is just absolutely crazy. We've gone from being nowhere, basically in a net P14, which was a net second or third last with 16, 17 cars running, to winning this race. Yeah, it's crazy. Lap 35. There's gonna be 1.5 laps remaining in this race. We've got 70% battery, more than Thomas ahead of us, but as you can feel it coming, there are gonna be some DRS games played. This time though, we are gonna play it smart. We are not leading this race. No matter what happens, we are not gonna be leading this race as we go into the final lap. Alfie, however, does take the race lead, and we are just gonna be sitting in P3. I prefer to be P3 going into the last lap here over P1, simply because of the double DRS detection. It's a long straight, and we've got the tire advantage, we've got the ERS advantage.
Exit.
No matter what happened, we were not leading this race. I prefer to be P5
30 on the line,
going into this last lap. So here we go then. It's me versus Thomas in the last lap of the race. Alfie is not in contention here anymore. It's going to be a 1v1. Thomas goes a little bit deep into turn 1, and this gives us the opportunity on the exit of turn number 3. We're both gonna have DRS, but we have the slipstream, we have the ERS advantage, we have the tire advantage. Into turn number 4 we're gonna go. We go around the outside, brake early, and go for the switchback. Thomas has missed his braking point. Into the next right-hander we go. Into the lead of the race we go. For the first time since the opening lap, we take the lead of the race. And it's actually purple for a second. Maybe we can snatch away an extra little point here for fast lap. Probably not, but it would be beautiful if we can snatch away an extra point. But you can see the gap we're pulling straight away. It's a 6-10 gap as we head into the final sector of the race. We're clear, and we are gonna be winning this race again. This is like the 3rd race win in PSGL this season. It's incredible. I did not expect at all to be winning this race.
Well, good we didn't rage quit.
Yeah, I just can even say that. Good we didn't rage quit, because yeah, I didn't think we would be scoring
Good job.
more than a point this race. You can see their very underwhelming reaction for one of my best races in league racing, to be honest. Jake, of course, helped massively getting back to the lead train, but the fact is there were a lot of other people around me on the similar strategy who didn't get points in the end. You can see Ruben, I think, might have gotten into an incident actually, because he was quite far behind. But yeah, it was one of my best races in league racing. That's just a fact. And Jake just assisted me massively there. We would have not won without him for sure. So maybe we would have been able to snatch a podium, but even that would have been a stretch, I reckon. But I reckon even if we got P4 that race, that would have been a massive win. So 25 points to Thomas now in the championship with 5 rounds to go. So still a lot can happen. 80 points left to be distributed. Distributed. Doesn't matter. My English is whack. But I hope you guys enjoyed. One of my best league races in ever. I think so. I want to say F1 23, but probably one of my best league races ever. I think this goes up with 2021 Austria league race with where the crazy comeback after disconnecting. I think this is up there with a similar performance, to be honest. There were a lot of people on similar strategies that didn't make it that far. So great race pace, great moves. And yeah, hope you guys share the same opinion. Next up, Brazil. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe for more league races. And see you guys next time. Ciao.
Yeah.